Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you how I made this journal from Amazon packaging. I usually make hardcover journals and I wanted to try a soft-sided journal this time around because I wanted to use it as a planner for 2023. So this is what I came up with. I realized it would be best to sew the sides up before cutting because I didn't want the white puffy stuff to start falling out. So I stitched up the sides, and I was going to use my paper cutter because I'm not very good at cutting straight lines with scissors. But the packaging was too thick, so I had to use the scissors, and it turned out all right. I love this fabric, and I think we got it at Joann's Fabrics a while ago, but I felt like the cover needed something more, so I wrote out Susie's journal on some linen, and then I just embroidered a chain stitch along the letters. And after I finished that, I felt like it needed a little bit more, so I kind of tried to mimic some of the yellow and orange flowers on the fabric, and I like the way that it turned out. So I'm not the best embroiderer, but I enjoy making things with my hands, so I just do it. And you know, honestly, for me, it's as much about the process as it is about the end result. So I do it because I enjoy doing it. And after I finished the embroidery, I ironed some heat and bond on the back side of it, then peeled off the backing and then ironed that onto the cover after I sort of centered it there. Then I frayed the ends and stitched around the edge with rainbow thread, which I love. I iron heat and bond on the back of the fabric, and then I iron the tissue paper over that. I know that I'm using extra steps here, but I like making book cloth this way. It works for me because the glue does not seep through the cloth when I glue it down. And I've been using this Tombow multi-glue to glue my book cloth down, and it is extremely sticky and difficult to get off, but it works really well. It holds really quickly and it's super strong, but I do have to use gloves a lot of the time when I'm using it because it's so difficult to get it off my fingers. And so after I iron on the tissue paper, I tear away the excess. Then I'm using 200 GSM craft paper to add just a little more body and strength to the inside of the cover. And I just measured the exact size I need and then cut that and glue it down using the Tombow Mono Aqua Glue. Then to glue the book cloth to the cover, I used that really sticky Tombow multi-glue, and then smooth it out with my bone folder just to make sure that it's going to be adhered really well. I picked out some of my 8.5 by 14 paper that I have previously painted and dyed, and then I mix in a variety of different papers, including some coffee dyed papers, packaging paper, graph paper, craft paper for the signatures, and I kept these papers very plain because I'm using this as a planner, and I thought I might be gluing down a lot of calendar and planner pages, so I just wanted to keep it really simple. I'm using the same 200 GSM craft paper to stitch the signatures into. I want to cover that with the same fabric I used for the cover, so I measured that and made that into book cloth the same way as the cover, and then I just glued that on. I usually use craft text for this, but I wanted something lighter and thinner, and the combination of the slightly thick craft paper and the book cloth makes it super strong but lighter than the craft text. So because this is a lighter book, I wanted to try that, and it worked out really well. I used the graph paper trick to measure the holes for the 5-hole pamphlet stitch. Because I made the inner spine a little shorter than the full height of the cover, I realized that I needed to adjust the spacing of the holes that I had just previously marked. So you see me making those adjustments in order to fit all the stitches equally. And then I use a binding punch guide from We Are Memory Keepers to give me some accurate punches, and I like using a combination of the graph paper and the punch guide this way. It helps me be more accurate. Then I'm sewing in the signatures onto the inner spine that I made. I like to use a paper clip to start with and leave a good tail there for when I tie it off at the end. And I'm just using upholstery thread that I wax with beeswax, and I feel like it works really well. It doesn't get caught up on the pages, makes it really smooth for stitching. Now I'm preparing the 200 GSM craft paper to make an Oxford hollow. So this was a game changer for me. I discovered this from Nick the Booksmith, and I will try to add a link to her video showing how she does it. But what I like about the Oxford hollow is that it gives the spine some leeway when opening the pages so they can lay flat when open. This technique is life-changing. I like my binding stitches to be hidden, and I like to tie the tie that I make to be hidden. So I always use a separate spine to sew the signatures into, and then I glue that into the spine of the cover. The problem with that is that it makes the spine very tight, and a lot of times the pages will not open fully and the cover doesn't lay flat. So I have struggled with this for years and could not figure out how to resolve that issue that I had. I mean, I just really struggled with it. But when I saw this video from Nick the Booksmith using the Oxford hollow, it was the answer to my problem. And it just allows for so much more flexibility in the spine, and I just love it. I will be forever indebted to her for sharing that. So after I've glued down the text block, I make some more book cloth with the same fabric, add some pockets, and then I glue that down on the insides of the cover. Now, I didn't record the making of this tassel, but all I did was just cut some ribbon that I have that matches the colors in the cover, tied those on a swivel clasp, and added a string of beads in coordinating colors, and I attached that to a large ring fastener on the spine. Because I made this to use as a planner, I created some digital pages in Adobe Fresco to use as planner pages for January, and I used washi tape to secure those pages into the journal, and I added some glue to the washi tape just to make sure they stay in place. And there you have it. I really like the way it turned out, and I'm excited to use this as my planner slash journal for 2023. If you've made it all the way to the end of this video, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really want to record these videos, but in all honesty, it feels super awkward. But you know, I'm just going to keep trying, and hopefully I'll get better as time goes by. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. So long.